You ever get that creepy feeling that you're being watched online? You know, that every single click is being judged? Well, what if I told you that in today's world, a little bit of that paranoia isn't just normal, it's actually essential for survival. So welcome to the new rules of the game. Welcome to zero trust.
Nope, that's not a line from some spy movie. It's the absolute core philosophy of a cybersecurity revolution called zero trust. It's simple, it's powerful, and yeah, it's a little terrifying. It's the mantra for our times.
You know, for decades, the guiding principle in security was trust but verify. The idea was, hey, if you're inside our network, you're probably one of the good guys. Well, zero trust comes along and just flips that entire script. The new rule is verify and, well, verify again. It basically assumes everyone, and I mean everyone, is a potential threat until they're proven otherwise. Every single time.
Okay, so why this sudden, intense suspicion? Why this major shift? To really get it, we need to take a look at why our old way of thinking about security just completely fell apart.
Think of the old security model like a medieval castle, right? You build these huge walls, that's your firewall, and you dig a really deep moat around it, that's your network perimeter. The thinking was simple: keep the bad guys out, and everyone inside is totally safe and trusted. The problem? Well, the bad guys are clever. They always find a ladder, or they dig a tunnel, or they just trick a guard into opening the front gate for them.
So this whole castle and moat model got demolished by three modern wrecking balls. First, you've got insider threats. I mean, what happens when the danger is already inside the castle? Second, the massive shift to remote work just completely erased the perimeter. And third, the cloud. Our data isn't even in the castle anymore. It's just floating everywhere. The old model was officially toast. So where is the biggest vulnerability? Want to take a guess? It's us. A pretty staggering 68% of data breaches involve us, the human factor. We're the ones who click the shady links, we reuse our passwords, we are cybersecurity's weakest link. The call, it turns out, is coming from inside the house. And the attacks that are designed to target our very human nature, they're just getting worse. There was a 47% increase in phishing attacks alone. You know that little jolt of anxiety you get from an email marked urgent, action required? That is a goldmine for hackers. And boy, do we fall for it.
And here's the final nail in the coffin for the old way. 60% of companies had to completely overhaul their security just because their employees were suddenly working from home, from coffee shops, from everywhere. It became crystal clear. The old walls were gone for good. A new philosophy was desperately needed.
So this brings us to the solution. This paranoid new philosophy. If the old world built on trust is dead and gone, what do you replace it with? The answer is a framework that's built on constant, relentless, and unapologetic verification.
So what is zero trust? Officially, it's a security framework built on one single core assumption. Assume you've already been breached. It works from the idea that threats aren't just outside the castle walls, they are potentially in every single room. And because of that, every single request for access has to be strictly verified. No free passes, no exceptions.
And you know, this isn't some brand new fad that just popped up yesterday. The term was actually coined way back in 2010 by a researcher at Forrester. He had this brilliant light bulb moment where he realized that just automatically trusting everyone who managed to get onto the internal network, well, it was like leaving your front door wide open with a giant sign that says, "Come on in, please rob me."
This entire philosophy, this whole paranoid mindset, can be boiled down to four really simple but incredibly powerful pillars. Number one, never ever assume trust. Not from the CEO, not from the intern, not even from the smart toaster in the break room. 2, verify everything, every single time. 3, grant the absolute bare minimum level of access needed for someone to do their job, and not one bit more. We call that least privilege. And 4, monitor continuously. Always be watching.
Okay, a paranoid philosophy is one thing, but how do you actually enforce this level of constant suspicion? Well, you need a whole new set of tools. You need a toolbox filled with what you can only really call weapons of mass suspicion. So this toolbox has 5 essential layers of defense, and each one is designed to answer a critical question before it even thinks about granting access. You have identity verification, which answers, who are you, really? Then device security, asking, is the laptop you're using compromised? Then network segmentation, which builds these tiny digital walls everywhere. Continuous monitoring acts as your digital watchdog. And finally, least privilege, making sure no one gets the keys to rooms they have no business being in.
I absolutely love this analogy. It is perfect. Think of all those tools working together as the ultimate bouncer. They're not just at the front door of the building, they're at the door of every single file, every single application. They are checking your ID, they are checking your credentials, and yeah, maybe they're even checking your quote-unquote vibe before they let you pass that velvet rope.
Okay, so we've got the philosophy, we've got the tools. But what does all of this actually feel like for the average person who's just trying to get their work done? Let's take a little walk through your new, and let's be honest, slightly annoying reality.
Okay, just picture your morning. You sit down, you enter your password. Then you've got to scan your fingerprint for that multi-factor authentication. Maybe you even have to answer some security question about your first pet. Then you finally get in, you go to open a file, and boom, access denied. You now have to formally request access and just wait for someone to approve it. Welcome to the trenches. It's a process. And this really gets to the heart of the trade-off here. The good news? It's obvious. You are so much safer from attacks. That means fewer data breaches, which means much, much happier auditors. But the bad news? It can feel restrictive. Someone described it perfectly as trying to enjoy a party while you're wearing a full-body hazmat suit.
And let's be totally transparent about the challenges, because there are a few. Implementing this stuff is a huge job. This analogy is perfect. It's like renovating your house while you're still living in it. It's messy. You're definitely going to get some pushback from employees who hate all the extra steps. And yeah, it is expensive. But it is almost always cheaper than the alternative, which is a catastrophic, multi-million-dollar data breach.
So with all these challenges, you might be thinking, is this whole thing just a passing fad? Well, all the evidence suggests the complete opposite. The future isn't just coming, the future is paranoid. And zero trust is quickly becoming a fundamental necessity. In a world of AI-powered attacks and threats that are getting more sophisticated by the day, relying on the old security models is kind of like sailing on the Titanic and just ignoring all those iceberg warnings. Zero trust isn't some luxury yacht, it's the lifeboat you absolutely have to have ready to go.
And look, this is not just a theory anymore. Not at all. Tech giants like Google and Microsoft have been living by these principles for years. But now, it's going completely mainstream. From the biggest corporations on the planet down to your local credit union, organizations of all sizes are realizing that in the world of cybersecurity, paranoia is the new black.
So we end on this one final provocative thought. Zero trust gives us a framework, it gives us tools, it gives us a philosophy. But what it really does is it forces all of us to confront a much deeper question for the digital age. In a world that is built entirely on data, who or what can you really truly trust? The answer, it seems, is no one. You can only verify.